Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my trick-or-treatathon, readathon TBR. So I will be participating in the trick-or-treatathon, which is hosted by Occasional Reader and a few other hosts, including Heather from Belle's Library, which is who I heard about this readathon for. All of the links are down in the description box in case you're interested in participating, but this is going to be a month-long readathon, which are the types of readathons I really love. And so there is a bingo board, and we were assigned to teams, and so I was assigned to Team Monster. So like I said, there is a bingo board. You can see that I've already put some notes there. And so for every read that we do during the readathon, there are points, and then you're trying to like make bingos, obviously. So I have decided that with the things that I am planning to read, I believe I will be able to make 2 bingos and then do the 4 corners, which is also something that you can get points for. So let's just go for the bingos that I am going to be trying to obtain during the month. I am using the pre-made board. You could, if you wanted to, create your own board, but that would have to be submitted by October 2nd to be able to use that, and I just decided that with the prompts that were on the pre-made board, those were good enough for me. And so let's start with the bingo that is diagonal from top left to bottom right. So the first prompt, top left, is going to be Monster Mash. Read a book with monsters or a non-human main character. And so for this one, I decided that I would read Zombie Jr. by Arthur Dark. This is a story about a zombie who wants nothing more than to be a normal boy, and then he gets his wish granted in an unusual way, I believe is what the summary says. I decided to pick this one up because the author of the book is the host of Hollywood Graveyard, which is a YouTube channel that I have been watching for the last year or so. And Arthur basically goes to graveyards and shares the graves of Hollywood celebrities and many other celebrities as well, like composers and Disney illustrators and all types of people like that, people who are famous. And I learn a lot about especially older celebrities through his channel, and I just find what he does very interesting. And it had come up on one of the videos that I had watched lately, because I have been going through his backlist, that he had written a book. And so I went and I looked for it, and it turns out it's available on Kindle Unlimited. So I will be borrowing that one from Kindle Unlimited to read. And so yeah, I'm super excited to get to that and support him in another way besides watching his videos. So diagonally down to the right, the prompt is Fall Plants. Read a book with leaves on the cover or dead trees. And so for this one, I will be reading Autumn Crow, which is by Cameron Chaney, who is also a YouTuber. His channel is Library Macabre, I believe. And he does a lot of videos on YA vintage horror and like middle grade vintage horror. And of course, I found his channel because I have rekindled my interest in reading my R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike collection. And there are several other authors that were writing around the time that Christopher Pike and R.L. Stine were very popular when I was growing up. And so I've been watching his videos recently and have been really enjoying them. So I decided to check out his book because I believe he has a full-length novel coming out that is based in this town. So Autumn Crow, which is the one that I will be reading, is a short story collection based in a town where it's Halloween every day, and that just sounds great to me. I don't normally read short story collections. It's just not normally my thing, but this is actually going to be one of 2 short story collections that's going to come up in this video, so I'm super excited to get into that one as well. Now, down and diagonally to the right is the free read box. And so for this one, I haven't picked an actual book yet because I will just pick something else that I'm not reading on this board to fulfill that box. Down and to the right diagonally is Haunted House. Read a book set in a creepy or scary location. And so for this one, I will be reading The Haunting of Ashburn House, which is by Darcy Coates. This is a haunted house book. That's pretty much all I know. That's all I want to know when it comes to haunted house books, or like even mysteries, thrillers. I don't like to know a lot going in, so that is all I know. Darcy Coates writes a lot of haunted house books. I did read one other book from her a couple years ago, I believe, which is also a haunted house book. And so I'm looking forward to reading this one because it comes highly recommended. A lot of people that I watch and have talked to are planning to read this one. So I'm looking forward to seeing what story that particular installment brings. Now, the last box diagonally down and to the right is Joke. Read a book with humor. And so for this prompt, I will be reading Vampire Doll. I only have volume 1 right here, right now. The bottom here says Treatathon. I actually have the entire collection for this series. It is a 6-volume series. I will probably be reading the entirety of it because I am co-hosting a 4-day, 24-hour manga readathon mid-October. And this is one of the titles that I have lined up for that. I will be doing a separate TBR video closer to the start of that readathon, so if you'd like to see what other manga titles I will be reading, definitely keep an eye out for that video. But this is a series that I have read 5 out of 6 volumes for. This follows a vampire named Treatathon, who is an aristocrat and has been sealed in a cross for more than 100 years. And then he is released by an exorcist, but he's been banished and resurrected as a female doll. So he basically is a girl outside, and that causes a lot of like comedy in some of the things that he does in this. And so I remember it being very, very funny. I read it a long time ago, and the only reason why I've only read 5 out of 6 volumes of this is because I had such a hard time finding volume 6. But I've finally gotten my hands on it, so I'm looking forward to re-experiencing this series and reading through the entirety of it. So that's what I'm going to be reading for that prompt. So that's my first bingo down. The second bingo is going to be the line directly in the middle of the bingo board. So from the top, the first box is Costume Party. Read a book that is a cover buy. And I don't normally do cover buys. I always, if I'm attracted by a cover, will still read the summary or at least skim it before deciding to buy it. And so I decided to take myself to Barnes & Noble, since I had to go there anyway for my manga club meeting, and actually do a cover buy, which ended up being exactly what I normally do. So I got attracted by these covers and then read or skimmed the synopsis and brought both of them home with me. So I will be reading one of these 2 books for that prompt. So the first one is Hell House from Richard Matheson. I believe I've seen this one come up on one of the videos I've been watching lately. I can't remember who it was, but I've been reading a lot of spooky recommendations videos lately because I want to read a lot of spooky books. And so I saw this one and decided to bring it home with me, but because I had seen it on someone else's channel, I decided to try again, and I found this one, which is The Haunted by Bentley Little, and the cover alone intrigued me. This again is a haunted house story. That's all I want to know about it, and so I will be probably reading this one to fulfill that prompt, but I will be getting to this one sometime soon as well. So right below that is Movie Night, read a book with an adaptation. And so I will be probably watching a lot of Halloween movies in October, just because I have a collection of Halloween movies that I like to watch every year. That being said, I think I'm going to actually go for something that is not Halloween themed for this prompt. I'm going to go with Volume 6 of Bleach. This is the omnibus version, so it has Volume 16, 17, and 18 inside. I have been doing a read-a-watch along with my daughter on this series, and so I will be reading through these volumes, and then we will be watching the episodes that correspond to these volumes. And I have been really enjoying my read-a-watch along experience on this. This is also part of my rotating decks TBR, and so I am looking forward to getting into that. Below that one is the free read box, so again, I will be choosing something to fulfill that prompt sometime during the month with a read that is not on this board. Below that, the prompt is Screams, read something scary. And for this one, I decided on Ibitsu. This is a manga by Haruto Ryo. This has a parental advisory on it, and it is wrapped in plastic. This is a ghost story that follows a girl that is in like gothic Lolita garb. You can kind of see it here on the cover, and she hangs out at the local garbage drops, and if she sees you, she'll ask you a question: would you have a little sister? And to reply is to seal one's fate and meet a diabolical death at the hands of none other than this twisted sister. And tonight, another man will fall prey to the horror. So, I presume this one is going to be rather gory. Let's see, this is Yen Press, so it says, it is rated mature for language, nudity, and violence. This has been one that I have been super interested in. I just picked it up a couple months ago, and will be definitely reading this one for something scary, along with the things that I will be reading for the Haunted 24-Hour Manga Readathon. So the last box at the bottom of the bingo board is Festival Food. Read a book with food on the cover. And so for this one, I will be reading the Book One Cozies Club October selection. Book One Cozies Club is my book club where we read first in a series cozy mysteries. And so for this one, I will be reading Candy Coated Murder. This is the first book in the Pumpkin Hollow Mystery series by Kathleen Suzette. This is, again, on Kindle Unlimited. I'm getting a lot of Kindle Unlimited books in on this TBR, which is great. But this one basically, again, happens in a town where Halloween is all year long. And so that's what sustains their community, and a resident decides to come back home after like 10 years, I think, and everybody hates her for some reason, but then her neighbor is murdered, and so she looks into that murder. So that one is the shortest Book One Cozies Club selection we've had in the history of Book One Cozies Club selections. I'm super excited for that one, because who doesn't love a place where it's Halloween all year round? So that will take care of my diagonal. So diagonal, well, I guess looking at me, it's probably going to be this way. Diagonal this way, and then the middle bingo. So that's my two bingos. And then for the four corners, we already went through the top left, which is part of my first bingo. Then the one directly opposite of it is Treat, reread a fave and enjoy a fall treat. And so I will be rereading In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories, retold by Alvin Schwartz, pictures by Dirk Zimmer. So this is obviously a level 2 grades 1 through 3 book. I read this when I was a kid, and it's just one of those books that really made an impression on me. There's a story in here that's called The Green Ribbon, and that is by far my favorite story in this collection. This is the second short story collection that I was talking about when I talked about Autumn Crow, and I just really enjoy reading this at this time of the year. I try to read it every year, but last year I didn't and was very disappointed that I wasn't able to get this one in, but I'm definitely getting this one in this year and will be enjoying a fall treat at the same time. So that's what I will be reading for that. And then the bottom corner directly below that is part of my first bingo as well, so we've already covered that one. Go across to the last corner, and that one is Struck with Fear, read in the same spot. So for this one, I haven't actually picked out something because I am sure something that I am reading for the Haunted 24-Hour Manga Readathon will fit in this box. If not, I usually read right before bed, so anything I read during the month will fit in that prompt. Though I have a feeling I will be reading in other places besides my bed, just by the sheer number of things that I have planned for this month. So I do have some other boxes that I could check off during the month, like right next to the free reads box to the left, there is Graveyards, which is read a book with skull or bones on the cover. And I already have this book on my TBR from my Rotating Decks TBR game. And that's going to be Paradise Cove by Tim Meyer. This one is a book set on a paradise getaway location where a bunch of serial killers and mass murderers and things like that, and people like that, I always say things like that, and people like that are also on this island, and they decide that they're going to have a free-for-all and kill all of the vacationers. And then it turns into something like The Purge, where it's a free-for-all and everybody's just out to save themselves, including the vacationers. And so I am really looking forward to that one. I've heard lots of great things about it, and it's also in Kindle Unlimited. Obviously, as the month goes on, if I'm able to get more things in, or some of the things that I read for the Haunted Manga 24-Hour Readathon fits into any of the other boxes, I will definitely be plugging those in. But my plans right now are only to have those 2 bingos and the 4 corners to do for this readathon. So I am super excited to get to all of these reads. Let me know down in the comments below if you will be participating in the Trick or Treatathon, or if you are participating in any other readathons during the month of October. Also, let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, but please no spoilers. And if you have nothing else to say but would just like to let me know that you are here, if you could leave me a jack-o'-lantern emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye!